know what this is. It's the Ish We Talk. Let's go!
What up? What up? What is the deal? This is the Ish That We Talk. You know what this show is about. We're going to talk about things that are going on with the world. I am Lily. I am the host of this show. Um, I am just a dude that just talks a lot of ish. But I'm actually with the lady that pushes the bells and the whistles, the unsung hero, the underrated champion, the blonde bombshell, 6 foot do-gooder, um, tall, not small, um, large and in charge, hard and better than most of you tards. I am with my co-host, the lady that pushes the bells and the whistles. Without her, it would not be no me. You would not know me on the interwebs. Let's give a round of applause for my cousin, Lindsay.
Hello, how's it going? You know what that reminded me of?
Yeah.
Remember at the end of Bebe's Kids when they was in Vegas and the baby got out the car? Six safe running mates, right?
Yeah. For y'all that don't know Baby's Kids, that was a movie that was in the 90s. Y'all probably was born in the 90s, and your mother probably never let y'all see that movie. But that movie was incredible.
Yes, it was a maze. It was a maze. I watched it so many times, can quote so many scenes. It was a classic.
Super classic.
Yeah.
But let's get the pleasantries out the way. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and excuse me, I said Twitter, X, but Facebook, Instagram, and for my Twitch followers, you can find us on Twitch, and you can also find us on TikTok. We are now TikTok live, so please always come in and intervene as much as you want to, talk as much trash as you want to with us, because that's what we do. But all that aside, hello, you ugly motherfuckers. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Lindsay, how's your
Yeah.
health? How's your wealth? What's going down, my dog?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm just trying to stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops. You feel me?
Oh, all right. It sounds very pimpish.
You know, eventually I'm gonna have a whole slot of these. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know before as I go.
Yeah. Yeah. But I attended another graduation this week. So, yeah, shout out to Alicia. So, Alicia was this past week, and Lennox was the week before. So, shout out to them. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I had a good week this week. And what I've noticed, which is a good thing, it's definitely a good thing. These classes are big. These classes are very big. Like judging by the amount of kids in the class, ain't too many people dropping out no more. So
Uh,
it's a
so
good thing to see. I'm happy to see it.
that's a real good thing because we was in the era of everybody was dropping out. Listen,
Hmm.
I ain't never saying I'm stupid. I ain't never gonna call myself stupid at all in the world. But when I graduated 10th in my class. That means it was only 9 people that graduated that were smarter than me. And I can guarantee you, it was way more dudes that were smarter than me. It was way more people in general that was smarter than me. But
you know,
I graduated 10th in my class. But
yeah,
that just shows the growth.
yeah,
'Cause yeah, I I'm not done by far. I just know I wouldn't smarter than a lot of people. They just was tired of school and didn't want to do it.
yeah. I hated school until college. I wasn't the best. So I don't know what number I was, but I know it wasn't 10th. Probably wasn't 100th. Like I was not good until I got to college. That's when I actually liked school. and actually gave it in. So,
And I never liked school. I graduated early because I didn't like school. And I think that's why they gave me 10th, because I actually graduated early. I was supposed to graduate in 2001, and I graduated in 2000, which it lets you know that was 25 years ago, my G.
Dude, when you look back on it, it's like, damn, you know? But yeah, I graduated 01. So, but I was the youngest in the class. So, yeah. But yeah, don't ask me what I've done in these past 24 years.
I've did a bunch of living.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of drugs, and I had a great life. And then I had a son, and so I am trying to be responsible.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes you 25 years to get there.
It literally did. For me, it literally did, because I was not having children. I thought I was going to get out of here with no kids at all, because I was everybody's favorite uncle. And now I got a little curly haired boy to look just like me. So, you know, that's life.
Yeah. Right. I'm the auntie or the godmom. So it's just wild. Like, I was present when these kids were born, and now they're graduating. It's so wild. Yeah. So,
you know, even speaking about that, it's so crazy. I've been unk for 20 years. Like, when they be putting an age range on unk, like I'm on my T.I. rant. Like, T.I. told y'all he was an OG at like 29 years old.
And he moved like it too.
Yeah, and he moves like an OG. I've been an unk since I was fucking 7 years old. I've been moving like an unk my whole goddamn life.
Yeah.
I don't know no other way to move. So I respect the unk. They like, yeah, you 42 now, you an unk. I've been an unk, my nigga. Like, I've been that. Like, I never got mad. Like, I never was one of those people that like, I ain't no unk, bro. I'm only this unk. No, I've been an unk to a lot of niggas for a long time, because that's all they see me do my whole life. So I've always been unk.
Yeah. Right. Like, with me, I don't get called auntie unless you're literally my niece or nephew. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, I don't get called auntie.
I've been unk since 2005.
Yeah. Now I've been auntie since when? 98.
Oh, well, if we going that way,
yeah,
I've been unk since 1990.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've been unk since 1990. Yeah. The hood started calling me unk in 2005. Like, nah, that's unk.
Yeah.
At that point in my life, I'll just tell y'all the story. At that point in my life, I had all 4 of my nieces with me, living with me in my house. And so I was unk in the hood. I was unk because that's they see me with my nieces. Anywhere I went, my nieces went.
Yeah.
Not saying that was a good thing, because I was not a good person at that time. I was not a good person to anybody that wasn't my nieces, but that's what I was doing. So I've been unk for a long time. There's a lot of people that be like, nah, that's Unk Lily.
Yeah. Well, I've been since I was 14. So yeah. Yep. But
I've been an unk since 7.
Yeah, but now like my nephew's friends, they call me auntie because that's all they hear. You know, so, but like just a regular person, you know, they don't.
Yeah, same here. I you know what? And I hate to be like this, but I'm gonna just keep it a total bean. Before I was in a relationship and living my best life, like, now that I used to always be laughing. I used to take a laugh at, because a lot of my niece's friends, they used to be like, "That's Uncle Lily," and I'd be like, "Girl, you know, I'm old enough to fuck you and your mama, so you stop playing with me."
Right. Don't call me that. Like,
Because you
no.
come over here for a reason. You come over here when she's not here. So I know what that means.
Right, right.
So let's not play with me like that. You
Right,
are.
somebody, I'll wait for her. Nah.
Know what that means. You can't. You 22, 23 years old talking about, yeah, I'm going to just wait for Shay to pull up.
Right,
You just waiting on me to pull the cognac out and start talking slick.
right,
Like,
right. You're trying to get that treatment for real.
yeah, you try to get, she don't get off work till 11 p.m. Bitch, it
Right.
is fucking 4:30 in the afternoon. I know what that is.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't think I've had friends that had uncles like that. So yeah, I ain't had no business being around here if they weren't there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was young. Like,
Yeah.
you got to think, especially with my oldest niece, is like we were only 7 years apart. So when she's 20, I'm 27. If her friend is 23, she's over there for nothing.
Right. Right.
She's over there for nothing.
At all. Not one reason to be there.
I'm gonna just wait for her to get off.
Right.
Really?
Like you
Right.
just so happen to wait on the day I'm off. Okay.
Right. You play those games if you want to.
Right.
Disclaimer: I never knocked any one of my niece's friends because I thought that was disrespectful. So I don't never want y'all to think I was being that kind. All of them still respect me as an uncle to this day because I never was a degenerate.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, I never was that kind. None of my any of my nieces would and their friends would never say I was ever that kind with them. I took care of them better than some of their family did. I made sure they had something to eat. If they needed a place to stay, I was always around and taking care of them because I took care of my nieces. So I didn't. You were my niece's friend, then you had a place to stay, and I never was on no extra. And a lot of their parents still respect me for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, are you ready to get into these topics?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, where should we start? It's a pretty light day. We had a pretty heavy day. Sunday when we filmed.
Yeah.
That was a lot. But we do have an update. It's a bit of good news, kinda. We'll take it. Chris Brown is out. Chris Brown, they released him on bail. I want to say he had to pay like $6.5 million.
Yeah, just a little bit of money, just 6.5 million.
Yeah, a little work,
a little bit of change.
He'll make that back. Excuse me, one show. But he is out. And he is getting ready to start his tour. So, of course, we don't know how this will go as far as the trial and all that kind of stuff, or the charges or what have you. I'm sure they're not just gonna drop it or whatever, but as far as right now, he is out, so he can continue with the tour. I don't know how this works as far as like the US and the UK is concerned, but if there is an opportunity, I would just leave the UK after the tour dates and never return.
No, at this point, yeah, like
y'all don't need me there, and I don't need to go. So we're done here. Now, the only part that will suck is the UK territories, because they own like half the world.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the only part that would suck. So, but other than that, I just wouldn't go back,
I think Chris Brown's best bet is to do this tour. Once he knocks this tour out the park, he go ahead and run back down to the US, knock the rest of the tour out. Never go to the UK again for a whole year. Give yourself some leeway. Tell your lawyers whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever they need to do, postpone this shit. And then deal with that shit later. Because one thing I know, and it's not on no extra shit, but one thing I know is with a lawsuit like this, all these people want is money. Stall them out for a year, and then how much, and ask them how much they want to get this shit off my fucking back.
It's criminal charges.
Even if it's criminal charges, it's still on them on a situation of what type of restitution do you want me to do, and let me get this shit off my back.
Yeah.
Because either way, what I want to do is I want to, if when I do this, all right, you're gonna give me such and such amount of hours of community service or whatever. I'm not going to do time for this. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about with the world, but the world is about blue, and blue is the color of money.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, I'm not gonna pay y'all a bunch of fucking money, but if y'all want to, y'all settle it for giving me, like, y'all could give me a crazy amount. I'm not even bullshitting. You could be like, I want 250 hours of community service. I'm gonna do every year. You for the next fucking 15 years, I'll come out there and do a show.
Yeah.
And just end it like that.
Right. Do a free concert.
Yeah.
Top of the day.
And I know what I'm saying, and I'll do that for a long time. Even when I'm not even when nobody gives a fuck about me in the US, because fuck what you talking about. I'm not going to jail for somebody disrespecting me and I slapped him across the face with a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I agree. We'll have to work something out, but me going to jail, I'm not doing that shit. Or I'm not coming back. Fuck y'all. Like,
yeah, if we can't come up with a resolution, then listen. All of my next Chris Bowl tours will be everywhere but the UK and where and then I'll just touch the rest of the half of the world.
Right, y'all just got to come to me. Fuck it.
Yeah, that just is what it is. And I would tell people all the time, yeah, like I ain't fucking with y'all.
Yeah,
I ain't fucking with y'all because y'all on some bullshit. Not only are y'all on some bullshit, the dude that allegedly I did this to, I thought that shit was wrapped up a long fucking time ago. That's why I wouldn't even have came over there in the first fucking place. I wouldn't have went over there if this shit wasn't wrapped up. Y'all want to be on some extra shit because I'm a celebrity. Come on, man. I would let my light skin show. Like, no, I don't have time for that. I'm too cute for that. Like, I know I'm a crazy light skinned nigga, but I'm too cute for that.
Right. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. Do you see how I look? I'm not built for jail.
I'm not doing that. Like, even though I move like I look like Idris Elba, I'm too cute for that.
Right. Just at the end of the day, I'm not doing it. So yeah. Yep. So that's our update for Chris Brown. You know, good luck to him. Now I think my birthday plans may be back on.
They should be.
Yeah. I was looking at them tickets like 2 days ago.
I know, cuz. I know. So you know what? When I did not have a kid, me and you were on the set. I would pay the king's ransom to do some shit that I wanted to do. So I get it. I fucking get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about like the plane tickets alone are starting at $400. Like, why? Just why? But anywho, it's not about me. So moving on. Next up. So this crash out, because that's basically what it is. It's a damn crash out. Kind of came out of left field. We didn't think it would get this far. Cause they've been real subtle about their shit. Like they've been
She's
doing
been real
shit.
careful about it.
Yeah, like
She's
they like yeah, yeah. She hasn't been verbal. She hasn't been verbal. But yeah, so Remy Ma and Papoose, they pretty much broke the internet yesterday. Um, they were trending separately for hours, like top five. So, Clarissa Shields, the boxer, um, who we know is dating Papoose, right?
yep.
Papoose is still married though to Remy Ma. And Clarissa did a Breakfast Club interview. And in the interview, she didn't say nothing negative. She didn't even mention Remy Ma's name. But she did speak on her relationship. And she didn't even go in on her relationship, but she did speak on her relationship with Papoose. And she did say, that they love each other. She did say that he does have something to handle. He has a situation that he needs to handle before they could truly move forward. But they pretty much are an item, and that's what it is. Which we knew. We've been knowing for a while.
Yep.
What we saw first was this battle. This rap battle league that Remy Ma has, and there's one guy that she assigned, and he was battling somebody, and the person aired out the whole relationship for everybody that was in earshot to know. Um, so that caused major speculation. I'm sure there was speculation before, but that was major speculation because this clip went viral. They didn't really say too much or nothing. And then we heard rumors that Papoose and the dude had a fight.
Wasn't a fight.
What would you call it?
Wasn't a fight. For me, just personally, I'll say this. Um, from YouTube and then from the circles that I know,
Mm-hmm.
nah, Papoose punched the dog shit out this nigga, and this nigga got to talk. He got to backing the fuck out, and couldn't use his own fucking feet to back the fuck up out of there.
So it was a one person fight.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
it was a he check, and which I fully understand,
Yeah.
um, why he did that.
Yeah. Once it
Um,
got explained, I got it too,
yeah.
But yeah, but we had heard rumors of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then next thing you know, Clarissa got this movie that's being promoted, and now we heard rumors that her and Papoose was messing around. And then she had a fight, and Papoose walked her out. So we like, okay, what's going on? Because the last we checked, y'all was the epitome of black love. So, yeah, come to find out, Remy and Papoose had split up, and so they split up. That's what it was. Now, months later, Clarissa has this Breakfast Club interview, and Remy didn't take too kind to it. She always thinks somebody talking about her.
And
That's how she got
she
into
didn't
it.
say nothing at all, and I'm glad you
Yeah,
said that because um she that interview, she did that with the utmost respect. You got to understand that this lady, excuse me, this lady can beat the dog shit out of probably 80% of average men. So she could say whatever the fuck she wants to say, and
seriously,
she did that respectfully.
she
And she
did.
only talked about her man and what her man needs to do.
Yeah, which is what it is. Like he do need to handle that. Like if he's trying to excuse me, if he's trying to seriously be with her, he do need to handle his marriage. Like, you know, she didn't say nothing wrong.
No.
But yeah, Remy always thinks somebody's talking about her because she thought that Nikki was talking about her, and that's when she made Sheether. Bitch, ain't nobody talking about you. Anyway, but she thought somebody was talking about her. So she gets on Instagram Live and she starts airing out Papoose. Now Papoose all of a sudden is broke and she pays for everything. And she was showing text messages and was talking about how his stuff is still in the house and he needs to come pick up his stuff. Well, Papoose went on live, which is something that he doesn't do. He doesn't, you know, speak on things and whatnot. So he went on live and he started speaking on things. And he started speaking on how this whole situation occurred, how not only was Remy cheating on him with men after she got out of prison, but she was cheating on him with women inside prison. He
And
also,
outside of prison.
yeah, and outside of prison, yeah. He also went into detail on how he found out. They were doing like the shit in the house with the baby, in the room, and he was talking about like the main reason why he went on ahead and went live was because she mentioned his son and she was talking about I should call my stepson and get him on this live because her stepson is his son and I guess they're not having the best of they're not meeting at the minds right now. And so um she was gonna, you know, weaponize that against him. And that was the whole reason why he said that he went on ahead and addressed the shit. So, yeah, he started chronicalizing the whole series of events. He said they pretty much ain't been on the same page since 2022. The whole reason why he went on ahead and hit the dude that she's messing with was because the dude shook his hand and then turned around and smashed his wife. So that's fair.
Which is I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna play with me like that. You're not going to greet me in person and stab me in the back. Like,
Right.
true friends stab you from the front. That's a real statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, he had, you know, he had confronted her before about him and she was talking shit about him all the while she was still, you know, messing with him on the cool. She got a whole apartment 40 minutes away, and that's where she would go to meet up with him. What else did he say? He hasn't seen his daughter for a while because she's blocking him. And she don't even be around the kid like that. Somebody else be around the kid like that.
Yeah.
And he's still in great communication with her family. So yeah, so he said a lot on his live. She came back out and she was at the mall. And she went live at the mall. And she was talking about how she pretty much was flipping the bill for everything and how he broke and how he hasn't obtained a lawyer, how she don't want anything from him. She only wants child support from him. And she said that she would even pay for his lawyer. And how she was like, you know, fronting for the public because he was on this whole black love movement. And she was trying to, you know, support her man and trying to make it seem like for the public that he really held her down, but he supposedly cheated while she was locked up as well. Um, oh, another thing that he said in his live was that he wrote 90% of her raps since he's known her, which has been things that people have said about her for a long time.
Yeah, that's been evident. That's
Yeah.
strictly been evident after she came out. Like she was never that lyrical. I'm never gonna
Mhm.
downplay Remy Ma as being a shitty rapper because she's never been, but
Mhm.
she was superiorly better when she got out.
Mhm.
Which some would say, because she had a lot of time in there to like formulate her craft. But at the
Yeah, but
same
he
time,
even
if
said,
you really think about it, a lot of things that she said, and a lot of things she rapped about, wouldn't make a lot of sense that Papoose wrote some of that shit.
but he even said he wrote Conceited, and Conceited was pre prison.
And if he has proof of that, then that's 100%
But
fine.
see, and he said that he does have proof.
And yeah, he did say that, but
Yeah.
he has to have proof of that. I'll let you finish before I go on.
But yeah, back when she kind of tried to air him out a while ago, she said that, yeah, I guess you're gonna come out now and say that you wrote my raps. So she already knew that this was gonna be a shot. But he did say it. He said he wrote 90% since he's known her. And he said that he didn't want no money or nothing from her. He just wanted her to succeed. And but she said the whole reason why their marriage collapsed was because he was mad that she didn't want him as her manager no more. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Remy. I wouldn't even consider myself a fan of Remy. I mean I like a couple of songs about it, but I'm not a fan of Papooses music, but I mean I didn't mind him. I watched Love and Hip Hop. I didn't mind him on Love and Hip Hop. I just like her voice annoys the hell out of me, but that's the only real gripe I have. And then the whole Nicki stuff. So I don't have a dog in the fight. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, I'm here with my popcorn. But Trick Turner is watching, and he says she wasn't just gay for the stay.
Goddamn, Trick.
You know how Trick do.
Yeah.
No? But what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on this is this: we, as a people, should have known Remy Ma wasn't shit. Excuse me. When she was getting head and while driving in the video,
Oh wow.
we should have known she wasn't shit back then. First and foremost, she was getting head like she had a full blown like hard on. Like it wasn't she didn't have her leg cocked or nothing. She was just like boom, and she was driving.
Yep.
That just shows you the type of narcissist that Remy Ma is. Remy Ma want to be a part of the man's table so bad, and it's one of those things. And I'm not downplaying any woman that feels like this, because a lot of women feel like this, and I respect you for feeling like this. My mother, at one point in her life, she became that type of individual where she knew a man. She didn't need a man for shit. The problem with this, and it's just my opinion, is Papoose loved a person that did not love him, and the only reason why she stuck with him is because of what he did for her in prison. Um, Only thing I will say about this, and again, this is just my opinion. I watched men go through this. They'll stick with a woman because a woman held them down, and they become bitter after a while. Because they want to taste the outside world without this person, but they have to deal with this person. I think that's what happened in that relationship. instead of her being honest and telling him exactly what she wanted, she because she's a narcissist, I believe she's a narcissist. She tried to make him feel like everything that he was seeing was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand it. I'm not a narcissist, but I have seen situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe 100% that Remy Ma, and I would have never said this in 100 years because of how Papoose was displaying their love. I would have never said this in 100 years that this bitch is a real bitter baby mama. She's a bitter baby mama. If you think about it, through that whole shit with her and Easy, Papoose was very quiet and didn't say anything at all. It took Papoose moving on for her to turn around and start saying some shit. If anybody in this world has a baby mama like this, or have seen this out loud, I don't have a baby mama like that, thank God, because I didn't have kids out of wedlock like that. If anybody knows a baby mama's like that, you know the type of person I'm talking about. She waited for this nigga to move on before she started dragging him. What you dragging me for? Bitch, you the one that's out here showing out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do nothing but move on, and now I'm the problem? I'm the problem. I've been a problem ever since I got somebody that actually loves me for me.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, Papoose, everything that he said in those 3 videos, because he dropped 3 videos, everything that he said, I'm going to say is 100% right, because he never, ever tried to, he didn't even talk about knocking Easy the fuck loose. Like, he just let it be what it was. Mm-hmm. But then, once you start seeing him happy, you start talking some extra shit. And so, yeah, I totally get it, because at one point, a man gets tired of things. And I'm never going to say this, and because a lot of people are saying this. And so, at one point, I understand it. Yeah. Papoose is probably kind of corny on certain levels when it comes to women. Probably corny on that. And that's only just a matter of opinion for certain things.
But what constitutes corny?
So my thing is, I've seen a lot of niggas say that, like, Papoose was corny anyway for dealing with her on that type of level. So
because he waited?
Huh?
I mean, what makes him corny? Because he supposedly waited?
And so, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, on certain levels, people were saying, you know, he was doing all that when she was locked up. He was basically like, after she got locked, after she came out, he was like doing a lot of stuff, and he knew she was cheating, and he still tried to stay with her. Some people will call it corny. So I get what people are saying, but at the same time, I can say this wholeheartedly from my experience. Mm-hmm. Y'all never know how much a man loves a woman. Y'all never know how much a man loves a woman. And I will say it a third time. You never know how much a man loves a woman. A man who is really a man, I ain't talking about none of this old extra shit where niggas be like, fuck it, I can replace her. Bop, 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 bop. All that old extra, you never know how much a man loves a woman. I'm talking about a man will get raped through coals and still make sure that she's taken care of. Just because when a man loves a woman, he loves her more than anything, because, and I don't know anything about Papoose, so I'm only talking about myself. Mm-hmm. When you love a woman more than you love your mother. And you're willing to die for your mother. So imagine what you're willing to do for that woman. Yeah. So Papoose, on any occasion, was top tier of what it's like to actually have a man that loves you. And actually have a man that loves you in a stratosphere that can keep you elevated. Remy's problem is Remy wants to be the man in every fucking situation. She wants to control a situation. And we see this now where she did all that extra because a bitch that actually loved this nigga said something. That man ain't said nothing for months. Basically, for years. 2022. He's never tried to expose her. But at a point, a man gets tired. He can still love her, but a man gets tired. And I can only say that, again, I can only say that from experience, because at one point in my life, I never said nothing about one of my exes. And then it got to the point where I had to say something. Because, bitch, I don't disrespect you. So for you to keep disrespecting me, and I don't even be around you, bitch, are you out of your rabbit ass mind? Okay. All right, cool. You know what? I'm going to give you the Oprah Winfrey. Excuse me, not the Oprah Winfrey, but the Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Nothing will prosper around you.
You know what's so funny is you literally said, because bitch, I don't disrespect you.
Yeah. and I have to say it now because I didn't. I wouldn't have never said that back then. Right. But when I start finding out certain shit, like, bitch, I ain't never said nothing disrespectful to you.
Right.
I used to be like, man, I ain't never talked about this person. For this person to talk about me like that, and you only talking about me like that because I'm not running back to you. Mm-hmm. Oh man, come on, man. You can suck every bit of everybody's dick. And it is.
You're right.
Just all it is what it is. And you will never, I'm never gonna be and out of experience, I'm never gonna be disrespectful to you. I'm a kiki and laugh and all that. But you better not act like I don't know what I'm saying. We cool for real. Because I'm gonna check you right then and there. No, we ain't. I don't. Nigga, my favorite animal is an elephant. We don't never forget. So you're not about to be over here like we cool. What you got to do is move the fuck from around me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Like, I ain't gonna disrespect you, but you need to don't come over here like everything is all subpar. Because when I was moving up and you was going down, you talked a lot of bullshit. And that's what we see with Papoose and Rey Ma. Now that he is cool and he's doing his thing and he moved on and he is stacking his bread, you got a problem.
Yeah, but you know, the problem is that he's moved on to somebody that's successful and got money. That is who she is looking at is, you know, a step up.
Yeah.
If it was a lateral move or a step down, she'd be over there laughing. Like, she wouldn't give a damn. But
which lets you know the narcissist that this bitch is.
Right. So, yeah, that's the reason why she's, you know, pretty much, or if she would have moved on to somebody who was worth a damn. You know what I mean? Like, if she would have moved on to somebody who's very successful in his field, whatever field that would have been, then she wouldn't give a damn what Papoose is doing. Because she moved up. But she didn't move. Excuse me. She didn't move up.
Yeah.
You know?
She thought it was cool to fuck the trash guy. And this nigga don't never say nothing. Because Papoose don't say shit.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing I tell people all the time. A lot of people have a quality about them where they feel like because a man never says, hey, son, my son just bust through the door.
Right. He said, y'all are not.
Because a man never says anything. They feel like this man is a weak man. Mm-hmm. Hi. I know. I'll talk to you later. This is on live. They seen you run through the door. But back to what I was saying. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think because a man doesn't speak about a lot of things that he's a weak man. I was always taught that a real man doesn't talk about things. He moves a certain way.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at it as Papoose was doing everything he was supposed to do as a man. But after a while, it's a straw that breaks the camel's back. and for you to go outlandishly the way you are. I don't give a fuck if the shit was true. For you to do that after my woman said something, and she didn't even say nothing disrespectful about you. She actually checked me.
Yeah.
And our actuality, she actually checked me. She actually said, that's something that you need to handle.
Yeah.
And you got mad about it? Let me know what type of piece of shit that you is.
Yeah. And then on top of that, when she was showing them text messages, she was calling her Clarence. And when he replied, he answered whatever question she was saying or whatever. But then he was like, I don't know who that is you're talking about. But I saw that. I was just like, she's petty. Because you the one, at the end of the day, you don't want to sound like a man. So,
let's keep it a total being. You can call her Clarence.
Right.
Who you ain't about to whoop is Clarence.
Right.
So let's just keep it a beam right there. You can talk that shit. What you gonna do is the same thing you did a long time ago, bitch. You gonna try to shoot a bitch in the foot.
Right. Right.
Because you ain't about to, excuse me, not the foot, but the stomach. I got Meg in there.
Right.
But nah, you gonna shoot a bitch in the stomach because you can't fight. This bitch she's a prize-winning fighter. You ain't about to fight it. You ain't about to run up on her and be like, bitch, bop, 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 bop. You ain't about to do none of that.
Right. While she talking about ain't nobody scared. All right.
Yeah, you scared to death.
Right.
You scared to death. You shot a bitch at the nail salon and stuff. And I'm not disrespecting Remy Ma when I say this, y'all. But you got to call a spade a spade. She didn't fight that bitch right there for stealing her money. She shot her.
Yeah.
She shot. It would have been a big difference if she would have laid hands on her for it. No, she shot her. You know why she shot her? It's because that's the type of time she on. That's the type of time I'll be telling niggas in the streets right now. If a nigga disrespect you and you don't put your hands up for her, I can get it if a nigga giving you hands and feet and another nigga giving you hands and feet, then yeah, that's when that weapon get pulled out.
That's something totally different.
That's that's totally different. But if you ain't gave a nigga hands and feet yet, you automatically went to your pistol. Yeah, I know you don't move like I move.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this situation is ongoing because they ain't even halfway through the process. They like started the process. So Trick Turner says Remy scared of Clarissa knocking them veneers out. Hey.
Nigga. She ain't only scared of that, nigga. Listen. This is me talking, and I want to be 100% correct with everybody that is listening to me right now. Remy Ma is scared to get a liver shot to make all of that BBL shit slump down. I don't know if anybody know. If you get a liver shot, that shit knock the wind out of your shit, and it'll show what your body really looks like at one point. You can look like you big and strong. I know from experience. I've nigga, if I give you a liver shot, nigga, all that old flexing don't look good like that no more. Once you get the wind knocked out of you, now you see the titties on your ass. It's what happened. Motherfuckers talk that shit all the time. Talk to a man that actually got hit in the liver and see what that man say. Man, that nigga knocked the courage out. I'll knock the courage out of nigga. Because the liver ain't supposed to be hit. The liver and the kidney ain't supposed to be hit. So you hit the motherfuckers and watch how niggas start receding back or drop to the fucking floor.
Yeah.
It's been fights where motherfuckers be like, damn, you got a black eye, that nigga fucked you up. I'm like, man, I'll bet you that nigga won't move out the bed for the next 2 days.
Yeah, be laid up like a motherfucker.
Like, I'm cool with a black eye. That nigga ain't coming out. You see me with my black eye, you don't see that nigga nowhere.
Right. So, yeah. So this, this will definitely be interesting to watch. because she really did show her ass. So, but we'll be here. Any updates, we'll be here. So yeah. Next up is our Diddy update.
Get the baby oil, make it update. Spray it down on her. It's a good day. Hey, freakos happening every day. Hey, get the oil on the bitch. Olay. Oh, now it's Johnson and Johnson. We make it pop it. I'm sorry.
So the Black Men Show Society Breakdown is watching. He says, "What up, y'all? What
What
up,
up?
Evan?" So yeah, Diddy update. You know, this is week 2 of Diddy's trial. And they had quite a few people come. Not only did they have a couple of his assistants come, they also had a psychologist come that works specifically with what's that called? People who have been abused, and yeah, she's like a beast at it, you know. Had a couple of people. Yeah, they had a couple of people from Homeland Security come. One of them was the person that was pretty much taking the pictures and whatnot of Diddy's home when they raided his home in Miami. Believe he was the one. I believe that's the one that he raided. They finished up with Don Rashad. They started off with her, and they talked to a makeup artist as well of Cassie, and they also talked to Mr. Scott Mescudi, professionally known as Kid Cudi.
What'd you say his name was?
His name is Scott Mescudi.
That's his last name?
Yeah.
God damn.
So that's where Cudi comes from, Mescudi.
Mescudi. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the Scotts come from. If anybody know, him and Travis Scott got a song called The Scotts. That's because his name is Scott and then Travis Scott.
Yeah.
So the Scotts. So yeah. And it was a big deal for, the great Kid Cudi to show up and testify. Also, Cassie's mom testified as well. Now, it was interesting when Cassie's mom testified, because the defense did not cross-examine. They had to take that L. It just was what it was. She testified because she, not only once she found out it was chronicalized, after she found out that Cassie was being beat, and that was because she took pictures of it and whatnot. And also, when Cassie tried to leave, it was around the time when she was dating Kid Cudi. Diddy was like, I spent $20,000 on her, and somebody need to pay me, or I'm gonna release these videos. Excuse me. So her mom took out a home equity loan for $20,000 so that they could pay Diddy. And 5 days later, he wired the money back to him. She also, I think it was Cassie's 30th birthday. She also tried to fight Diddy on her birthday. So yeah, I mean, what can you say? How can you cross-examine somebody's mom who was an eyewitness and was a victim of some of the charges that that's been brought up on him? Yeah, because that wiring of the money shit, like, that was pretty damning. So then they had a couple of his assistants. The there was one assistant where, he cracked jokes, and then the next thing you know, he would be crying. So he went through a whole like little mental situation um, while he was working for Diddy. Um, and he was present at the time when they tried to run down on Suge. So that's mainly why he was there to tell that story and whatnot. And then of course he told other stories and what have you. But yeah. So that was that assistant. There was another assistant, and he pretty much quit because he couldn't take it no more. He couldn't take watching the beatings and being involved in certain criminal acts.
Yeah.
So he he went on ahead and quit. The other assistant worked for him for about the same amount of time, pretty much quit for basically the same reason. And however, he did not want no parts of this trial. He still holds Diddy to a very high regard. He was vocal about being on, if he was on the witness stand, he's going to plead the fifth. So because of that, they granted him immunity. Now, last week I did give off like several people that I watch that gives a breakdown. One of them I said name was Brandy Redwine, which that's incorrect. Her name is Simone Redwine. She is a lawyer, and she broke this part down because when it comes to immunity, they can kind of force that on you. So it's not nothing that you necessarily have to negotiate or request or anything like that. If they really want you to speak, they can force that on you, and you have to take it. And then when they force it on you and you take it, you have to tell the truth, because if you get caught in a lie, they're going to bring perjury charges on you. So it's kind of messed up, because what is the point of the Fifth Amendment? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of pleading the fifth if y'all gonna make me tell the truth anyway? You know what I mean? So yeah. So that's what happened. And so he, pretty much told his story. He told how he was present for several other beatings. There was one beating in particular where they were on a private jet, and Cassie and Diddy was in the back, and Cassie was on the ground with her legs up trying to stop Diddy from beating her. And he was standing over her, and she was just basically like, y'all don't see this? Don't nobody see this? And they saw it and turned their head. Like nobody jumped in, nobody tried to stop them or anything. So, but like I said, he quit for pretty much the similar reasons. He got tired of being a part of seeing foolishness like that. So he went on ahead and moved on, but he also spoke on the stand very highly of Diddy and how it was. Even though it was volatile, it was definitely a pleasure and an honor to work for him. So that was him. The makeup artist that spoke, she spoke about there was this particular incident where Cassie got beat up, and she was there when Cassie got beat up. So they ended up going to the makeup artist's house, who lived like a mile away. And she called a doctor friend of hers to come over and check Cassie. This doctor, they initially called the doctor because she was afraid that she may have had a concussion. The doctor also checked like her ribs and stuff like that, and told her she needed to go to the ER.
Yeah.
Cassie refused, and they never called the police. So that's basically what she was there for, to tell that story. The assistants also spoke about how they um, how they bought certain items and how it was very like specific that they are to buy certain items with cash. But there was a couple of times where some of the items were bought with the company card and stuff. So that can play into RICO, that can play into, you know, that those type of charges. So um then we have Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's probably the biggest name that we've had testify thus far. So it was a big deal to see him. Initially, he was supposed to come Wednesday, but he sent an email Tuesday night and was like, "I'm not coming." So they had to move on. But then Thursday, he did show up. And with him showing up, he pretty much, you know, went over the situation with him and Cassie. Um, he talked about how they met, how they collabed on a song, and then they ended up dating. He was under the impression that Cassie and Diddy were no longer. Um, but there was this one particular time when I guess Diddy found out, and Cassie called him and told him that Diddy had found out. And so he went to the rescue and he got Cassie, put her up in a hotel for a few days. And this was around Christmas time. So he ended up going home with her for the holidays because she's her parents are in Connecticut. So they went to Connecticut and spent the holidays there. But there was also an incident where I guess he was over like his ex-girlfriend's sister's house. And he received a call from this lady named Capricorn. Capricorn worked for Diddy. And Capricorn was real cool with Cudi. And she called him and she told him that she was at Cudi's house and so was Diddy and so was one of his security guards. And they are in the house. And she felt really bad about being over there and whatnot. And so she was given the heads up because I guess she was waiting in the car. So she was giving Cudi the heads up. Cudi got off the phone with her, called Diddy, and was like, "Nigga, you in my house?" And
Yeah.
so he said that Diddy was real calm and was just like, "Yeah, I'm here."
I'm waiting on you, Playboy.
Right. So he's just like, "Why the fuck you in my house?"
Right.
Yeah. So he was just like, "Why the fuck you in my house?" Blah blah blah. And he was just like, I'm about to come to there or whatever. And he was just like, I'm here waiting. And so he had every intention to go over there and beat the dog shit out of him. But then cooler heads prevailed. And he was like, let me call the police on this nigga. Like, so
I'll stop you right there.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this. Because I get this was because I seen that I seen that testimony, and I will say this: ain't no cooler heads prevailed.
Well, more
if a man tells you,
yeah,
right at again, I always try to humanize the situation. If a man tells me that he's in my house and he's waiting on me, the first thing I'm doing is going to the house because I'm shooting the shit out of everybody. Because y'all are in my house. But at the same time, that's me as an individual.
Right. That's not Kid Cudi.
That's not Kid Cudi. At the same time, Kid Cudi couldn't call nobody because he already said that it's Puffy and a security guard there. I don't know if people understand the type of security guards that Puffy hires.
Right.
Puffy hires niggas that will beat the shit out of 10 of your niggas.
Right.
I'm just keeping it a beam. Like I'm not trying to exaggerate or I'm not trying to make Puffy bigger than life, but Puffy hires people that can single-handedly get him out of any situation.
Right. Like literally with one hand, just
yeah. So, Cudi had a come to life realization of I don't want to kill nobody.
Right.
I'm not Cudi. I wouldn't give
Yeah.
a fuck if you about Puffy security because I would have shot my own house up. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Soon as I pulled up, I would have just start shooting because
Yeah.
y'all got me fucked up.
But Cudi had the dog in the house, so yeah. So that's probably what kept him from shooting his own house up.
Yeah, I would have ate that bitch up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would have. I get how Cudi is. Again, me and Cudi are not the same person. I wish somebody would call me that I know don't like me and tell me he's in my house. Man, I'll buy another house. I'll Swiss cheese the shit out of this motherfucker.
Dude.
Not only you jeopardizing me and my before I had my son, you're jeopardizing me and me. I'm fully on self-preservation.
Yeah.
So I will call you and be like, "Where you at?" I'm in your living room, Playboy. Bet that's all you need to tell me.
Right, that's all I don't even know.
Dog shit out of that motherfucker.
Right,
because you ain't supposed to be there.
No, then nobody invite you. Like you cross that threshold, it's on. Like
God damn, this nigga fucked this shit up. I sure did.
Like, why
I sure the fuck did.
House? Like
this man, I don't know why this man is in my house. He doesn't have a key to my house. He had to literally break into my house. And for self-preservation, I shot him. Whatever time y'all want to give me, I'm cool with that. But you know what I wasn't gonna do? Go there and get the shit beat out of me or get killed.
Yeah, and that's real shit. That's real shit. I mean, I would have been on the same shit as a woman and all. I wouldn't even thought about that shit. I would have been like, I'm on my way, knowing these two niggas is in my house. I would probably lose that fight. Like,
I love you to death, cuz I wish you would text me and be like, such and such is at my house. I don't even know how he got in my house.
Dude.
I'm like, just ask where he's at. Because I'm gonna look for the nearest window and I'm gonna air that motherfucker the fuck out.
Right. Just not even thinking. Like, dude, what are you here for? Why are you on this side of town? Period. You don't live over here. Yeah, like, what's going on? Yeah. But yeah, so he called the police. And the police met him at the house. By that time, Diddy was gone. Then they go through the house. Like I said, it was around Christmas time. So this is the diabolical shit here. So they're going through the house. They see that he didn't open up presents. And he put the dog in the bathroom. And the dog normally roams around the house. And he said the dog ain't been the same since. So what the fuck did you do to the dog, man? And then you just opening up gifts. They didn't take nothing. But you just opening up
shit. Like, yeah, boy, boy, you got some cool shit for your sister.
Right.
Who the fuck are you?
Right. Now I gotta
who the fuck type of nigga is you? That alone, trial alone with what's going on with Diddy. That right there.
That's
nigga, who the fuck do you think you are?
Right. Like, look at this shit. And then he was like, it was some Chanel shit or whatever. And it was like, I forgot who I was watching. I think I was watching Armand Wiggins, and he was just like, "Shoot, this Chanel shit. I had this shit last season." Like,
you buying that bitch last year shit. Why are you even giving a fuck about? Why are you again, dude? I just as much as I tried myself not to crash out, that right there would have had me crash the fuck out. Like
that would have had me sell my house.
Exactly. So, and this is no exaggeration. People know me, and so I'll keep it one. And this is why I don't want. And that's why Kid Cudi was being funny and being jovial on that stand, because Kid Cudi is not the type of individual that even plays those type of games.
Yeah. Right.
But my nigga, I play those type of games. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I would have never went through that. I would have. It would have been crazy because if you would have called me and told me some shit like, well, excuse me, if a motherfucker would have called me and said this nigga is in your house, type of jazz, and it wouldn't have been no hesitation on what the fuck I would have done, like, because you on some power shit.
Mm-hmm.
You on some, this is the type of shit I can do to you type shit. And I ain't never played that game with people. I don't like bullies. I've never liked a bully my whole fucking life. And I don't like a bully, and I don't give a fuck if you whoop my ass. And people know this about me. Like, I don't like a bully. I'm gonna tell you how fucking irrational I am on certain shit. As a young man, somebody called me and told me my house was getting kicked in. And everybody told me to just go ahead and run, call your lawyer, do whatever. My irrational ass went straight to my house and told the police that I'm who you looking for. So this is the type of time I'm on. I was willing to have a shootout with the police. So I just didn't. For you to jovially say, like, you know, I wanted to beat his ass. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You thought that shit through. I don't think shit through. That's why I tell people all the time, like, I try my best not to be a crash out, because I can be a superior crash out. No, I literally walked up to the police like, nigga, I'm the person you looking for. They like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, y'all kicked in my house, nigga. What are y'all doing here? Like, right. If they would have been that kind, I would have been that kind right then and there. Like, this is the type of time I'm on, and this is evident, and this is in police records, so they'll tell you this. I'm not the type of person that you gonna tell I'm in your house and don't nothing happen to you.
Right.
So I just want to, I get it. Like, that's why he was cracking jokes and being that kind, because he was downplaying it. He scared of Diddy for real.
Which I'm not mad at, because I mean, we already said Kid Cudi's not no street dude and nothing like that. But sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from being pissed off.
Yeah.
Or keep from crying, or you know what I'm saying? So I definitely get it. It's just, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to stay another night in that house, just knowing I can get touched.
No, I would have been gone.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I would have been gone is because I ain't gonna sleep nowhere where I didn't drop the nigga.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
I'm talking about I'd have dropped the shit out there. I would have been on my phone pulling up, and I would have been like, where you at, man? Like, I'm sitting in your living room. I'm at the vestibule. You know? And I'd have been like, that's all I need to hear. All they would have heard is glass shattering.
Right. And then I got I should have took pictures of it now that I think about it. Because they released the transcripts for that day, right? And they gave the address. And I looked up the house. The house is like a $2 million house. But the house is only 2 bedrooms. I was like, boy, that's some bull. In fact, let me pull it back up.
It's California.
Yeah, right. Hold on. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, that's
this is a nice house
for you.
Yeah.
It's only 2 bedrooms. Shit.
Yeah, it's 2 bedrooms, 3 baths, and 1,788 square feet.
Oh, that's, you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. You got stupid ass rooms and stupid ass bathrooms. Cause 1,700 square feet. 1,700 square feet. I'm gonna put at least 4 bedrooms in that bitch.
You know what? I got fucking almost 1,400 right now. So, and I got 3 bedrooms. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm gonna definitely put like 2 bedrooms. Oh no, y'all just had way too much room for nothing.
Right. Like, I got 3 bedrooms and 3 baths with 1,400. So, but that's it right there.
Wow, and it's only 2 bedrooms. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell America right now. Listen, I have 2 bedrooms. Just to be transparent, because I'm not gonna act like I'm rich on the internet. My nigga, you know how much square feet I have? Barely 700. With 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a basement.
Right. Yeah.
And I make it work like it's Christmas every day.
Right.
Shit, give me that space and my whole family living with me.
Right. We all gonna get a corner. Right?
Yeah, everybody got a spot. What the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
Ain't none of y'all going nowhere. You just mad? Go to your fucking room, nigga.
Right.
What are you talking about? Go to your fucking room. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Like
Right. So yeah. Yep. So that's it. I was like, you know what? Because it's on Hollywood Hills Drive, I think. And I was like, that's exactly what that looks like. So yeah. That's how I envisioned it.
And that was way too open. I'm looking at that right now. That's way too open.
Mm-hmm.
Way too open.
Yeah.
The only thing he needed to tell me was where he was at.
Yeah. But then that's the thing though, because that's not that type of neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So how that carrying on is non-existent, you know. But yeah, so that's the house. So let's see. Trick Turner says they need the guy who reads the title card for Law and Order SVU to read the transcripts of the trial. That's a good idea. I bet you they'll get so many plays with that.
That was skyrocket.
Mm-hmm. And he also says they put some of that freak off oil on the dog. God, I hope not.
Ain't no telling what they did to that dog, but if that dog is more. What type of dog was it? Because I didn't know. I don't know what type of dog it was.
I don't know. Yeah.
If it was a big dog, if he got a big dog and this motherfucker is jittery, I'm gonna tell you to go ahead and just send that dog to pet care, because you don't want that dog no more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Kid Cudi. If you got a poodle, I get why this nigga's terrified. You like, I got a Doberman and this motherfucker is jittery. You need to give up that Doberman.
Right. Yeah, let me see.
Because I got a cat, and I can guarantee you, if anybody that is not me, Jasmine, or my son, touch the cat if you want to, he gonna go ham.
Oh, his dog is actually dead now.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna make fun of your dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it made the news when the dog died. The dog died in 2001. What kind of dog is this?
Nah, hold on, because this didn't happen.
I mean, not 2001. I'm sorry, 21.
Oh, I was about to say, hold on now. Like, this is an old dog. Fuck that dog. We talking about this. But like, okay, this one, okay, and then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. I know what it is. I'm a pet dad, so I get it.
Yeah, I guess it's a Frenchie.
Okay, and yeah, I can get it being traumatized.
Yeah, and he called it Freshie.
I don't know what it is about these celebrities getting these little bitty ass dogs. I'm not the celebrity to do it. If we got famous tomorrow, the dog that I have, like, my whole thing is, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. Like, dude, Jasmine knows that I have 2 dogs that I know that I want. Once we get a bigger house, one I want a Doberman Pinscher. That motherfucker right outside. And the other one I want a Scooby Doo dog, and I want a Scooby Doo dog to be right in the house.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want this big motherfucker to really walk around." Motherfuckers don't really realize how big Scooby Doo it was.
Yeah, he was big.
Like, I'm
He
like,
was big.
Scooby Doo is dangerous. Scooby Doo is just a pussy. Like, I'm not raising him like that.
Yeah, yeah. But not only did he, put online that he died or whatever, but it was trending when he died. It was trending number 10, R.I.P. Freshie.
Damn.
Oh, yeah,
Damn. Rest in peace, Freshie.
yeah, yeah. He got pictures of him. See,
Yeah. Rest in peace,
mm,
Freshie. Oh,
mm,
you was an ugly little cute dog, man.
yeah, yeah. See, I like dogs in pictures, just not in real life. So, but yeah, R.I.P. Freshie.
I like that. If you train your dog right, I'm like, but you really have to train them.
Mm.
Dogs are superiorly man's best friend. Like my dude, I got a homeboy. Um, he trained his dog so well that he can walk anywhere and not put this dog on a leash. I'm talking about I've literally walked with this man to the store with his dog without a leash, and he told him to sit, and that man did not. And we went in that store, and that dog did not bark, did not scream at nobody. He just sit there and waited for him.
Mm.
Like this dog he was so trained. His daughter is 20, but I remember being younger, and he used to put his baby on the dog, and she would just love it, and she would just walk around the house on top of the dog, like she would just guide the dog by its ears
Mm.
and tell him where to go, and the dog loved her to death.
Yeah, yeah.
If you train your dog right,
Hmm.
your dog, and not only is your dog man's best friend, but that is literally the protector of your family. Like, and that girl was so enamored in that dog. That dog would have took a bullet for her.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Some dogs
I
are
remember,
extremely
like,
loyal.
I'm talking about this motherfucker would sit on the porch and hesitate, like when the school bus would pull up. This motherfucker would be so excited for her to get off the bus. This motherfucker would piss on himself. Like that motherfucker would pee. Because this motherfucker just so ready for her to get off the bus so she can play with him. Like this is the
Hmm.
type of dog I was like, damn, I was like, man, I ain't seen nobody that loyal my whole goddamn life.
Right, right.
Like this motherfucker would really be in that motherfucker like waiting and would
Hmm.
jump, and I'm talking about jump like 6 feet in the air when she walked through.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Like he loved her to death.
yeah, yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. I can't do it. I can't do it. If I could do it, I would want a cane corso. Those dogs are so beautiful.
Shout out to Kane Corsos. I don't know if I ever told the world my story on my Cane Corso. My one of my brothers shot my Cane Corso just out of fear.
Oh wow.
Yeah, uh my brother don't he don't like dogs. He don't like to deal with them. He happened to I was out of town, so he was coming to check on my house. He told me he was gonna come to the house at a certain time. He didn't. He came at night.
Mm.
So the first thing that my dog would do is run straight to the door. Soon as he heard the key, he ran straight to the door. And so he would jump on me because my dog loved me, so he would hug me. My brother doesn't like dogs, so as soon as he did that, came at night, he jumped up to hug him. He got spooked and he shot him in the chest. So I had to hurry up and come back from out of town. And it wasn't far. I ain't gonna act like I was somewhere else. I was in Columbia. But I had to come back to like literally like console my dog while he died because it took him a while to die.
Mm.
Like he was sitting there like
Yeah.
in his last breath when I got there, and I was acting. I cried like a baby. I
I
cried
can
like.
imagine.
And he called me. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck? I thought you had the dog put up." I'm like, "Why would I have the dog put up? Like he roams." And the house. Like that's why I understood what Kid Cudi was talking about because nigga, he just roam around the house.
Mm-hmm.
He don't got to be locked up nowhere. That nigga cool.
Right. That's his house.
Yeah, his house. He walk
Right.
around like he want to. He
Right.
heard keys. He thought I was coming home.
Right. Right. And the Black Man Show says it's Kone Corso. Is that
Really?
the original way to say it?
I was about to say that's the original way to say it because I was told he was a king horse. I got him when he was a runt. And he was the runner of the litter, so I got him for cheap. Nobody thought he was gonna get that big, and my dog got big. Like I'm talking about big, man. And his head was like, nigga, like that fucking big.
Yeah. Yeah, them things get huge. I just love them. They're so cute, but there's no way. If I can't do a little dog, I sure can't do no cane corso. So yeah.
It's really all on like when you get him, because you say that now, but if you get him as a puppy, you gonna love how he grows.
Yeah.
And especially if you train him right. Because I know what I'm saying, but because of my nigga Corn, I shout out to my man Cornbread. I learned how to train, and it's not no extra shit, not that dog whisper shit. It's like really you just gotta move around them like that's your kid for real.
Yeah.
They pick up things real quick and real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Black Man Show says, but what any of this got to do with trafficking though? It doesn't have to do with trafficking. It actually has to do with the arson.
It's the
Part.
arson part of the RICO trial that is going on. Sorry, we went off course, but back to
the right to the course.
It has everything to do with the arson and the racketeering.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the trafficking, the part, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Yeah. So so that was, that was the first time that Diddy showed up to his house was with the dog part, and then we took a left with the dogs. But back on topic, the Black man says, was he charged with arson? Arson is a part of the RICO. So he wasn't specifically charged with arson, but to build the whole RICO case, arson is a part of it.
Yeah. It's one of them. I will say this, because I a lot of people I have people that also that talk to me and they're on that type of time too. What they're doing is they're building everything that they put in that RICO case with him. Again, this is a RICO case, and I want people to understand that because people are looking at this trial and they're like, well, one instance is this, one instance is this, one instance is this.
They're building it. Yeah, so with the RICO, that's the reason why they had those assistants come up and go into specifics on what they did, how they paid for it, and all this kind of stuff. Because if they can prove that this stuff was paid with the corporation's money, that's part of the RICO. And we can prove that they were paying specifically in cash for a reason, that's RICO. You know what I'm saying? So they're building a case. Like this case is approximately going to be 8 weeks. We're in week 2. So it's a slow burn. So a lot of the stuff is not making sense if you're just like listening or whatnot. And that's the reason why I try to listen to several people, like people that's in there, and then also legal people that know the law and stuff like that. So I can have a full understanding on what we're watching. Yeah. Because they, they talk a whole lot about domestic violence and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, but he's not getting charged with domestic violence. Yes, he's not getting charged with domestic violence, but he's getting charged with sex trafficking. And domestic violence is part of sex trafficking. So, and then as far as the psychologist that they had on this week, she was going into the psyche because a lot of people are like, why didn't Cassie just leave? Well, there's a lot of reasons why Cassie didn't just leave. Right. And that's part of the sex trafficking. That's part of the what was the third one? It was sex trafficking, RICO, and it was something else that he's charged with. I forgot. But yeah, like they're pretty much building this case, and
so what I will say to that is, because I've been this is a federal case, and so what people don't understand, like if you've never been a part of any structure like this, is what feds try to do is they try to put an insurmountable bunch of charges on you at once. That's why it's a RICO. Mm-hmm. Because they try to put everything, including hearsay. This is what they try to charge you with. That's why a lot of people don't fight feds. They just take a plea deal.
Yeah.
Because the feds don't just try to charge you with one thing. They try to charge you with every fucking thing that ever happened.
Right. They try to throw the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Blackman says racketeering. What does arson have to do with that? Rico is a single man. This ain't making sense from that perspective. Not saying Diddy is innocent. He trashed, but the character stuff ain't relate.
Well, I will say the character stuff is very related because of the RICO charge. Again, I'm the one that said that shit from the jump. I've never seen a RICO charge with one man only included in it.
I've said that several times.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, with the RICO charge, with racketeering and arson, all of that has to do with him having a legal business outside of what we thought P. Diddy or Love was. This is what they're trying to paint the picture at. I get that a lot of things people are not relating to, because a lot of stuff I can't relate to. And I will 100% say, like, some of this shit, they're just trying to put Puffy in a bad light.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, and like Lindsay said, they're gonna throw literally the fucking kitchen sink at you. And that's what it is. And the only reason why I can say that is because my brother actually went through this. I watched my brother fight a case where it was literally people going to stand and saying things that had nothing to do with him. Yeah. And they even admitted to having nothing to do with him, but he was associated with somebody, so he got railroaded into the whole thing. And that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is when they charge you with RICO. When they hit you with the RICO, it's really hard to get over that. Like, it's some people that survive that 100%. Most people don't survive it, and the reason why they don't survive it because they don't have enough money to play with the feds that way.
Yeah.
Or they end up going broke playing with the feds that way. There's a bunch of people that went through that. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti went through the same thing. He had enough money to fight it, but at the end of the day, him being innocent meant that he had to be broke for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think people really understand that. Only reason why I understand it is because I've actually lived through it. And I know what I'm saying. It's just one of those things. Once they hit you with the RICO, it's hard because they trump charges on top of charges on top of charges. And a lot of, especially if you are in a position like Puffy, where certain things are accountable for, they're going to charge you for those things. Mm-hmm. Even if everything else, they like, oh yeah, we're going to throw that out, but we still going to charge you for this. Because one thing that the feds do, That's why it's only a handful of niggas that have been scot-free from the feds. And the only way you can be scot-free from the feds is if you have your own proof that none of that involved you.
Yeah.
This is proof that he was involved in certain things. Will I say that the shit with Kid Cudi would involve him? I won't. I'll say maybe they can throw out the whole blowing up the car, but they literally do have evidence of this man breaking into his house. That right there, the feds is gonna charge him for it.
Yeah. With the whole thing about the blowing up the car, they showed the pictures and stuff like that of the car. They said it was a Molotov cocktail. And the defense with the cross-examination, they did a real good job of maybe throwing out that part, because it never was really proven that that was him. He never fessed up to it, but yeah.
But again, I'll hearsay, because I'm gonna keep it 100, and I've said it on the podcast before. I told people he was Diddy been a dangerous man because he blew up Kid Cudi car. That's something that's been known.
Yeah.
For a long time. It
has been known. But he never spoke on it until Cassie put it in her lawsuit. And just to wrap up the whole Kid Cudi part, the way that the whole story that he told kind of played out, for real, I think the only victim out of the three of them, y'all might fight me for it, but I feel like the only victim was Kid Cudi.
Nah, that's 100% correct.
Yeah, like, because that was kind of fucked up. Like, he was in love with the girl, and the girl was going back and forth between the both of them. She wasn't honest from the jump about her dealings still with Diddy, and she knew how dangerous it was. And on top of that, Kid Cudi testified that Cassie was the one that gave Diddy Kid Cudi's address.
Yeah.
So I felt like she involved him into some bullshit, knowing that it was some bullshit, knowing that she wasn't 100% done.
Yeah, I mean, and I do want to integrate on this, because I know when I was watching it earlier today about when Miss Hughes got up there. Shout out to the Hugheses. They probably were slave owners too, so I ain't gonna shout out a white person like that. But what I will say is this: she does a good job at what she does, but at the same time, it's one of those things where we all have to look at it like, at one point, Cassie was not a victim anymore. She was a part of the situation. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I can only tell you from experience, again, I'm not typecasting anybody. I can only tell you from experience. I am a child of abuse. I've watched these things happen growing up. I watched my mother get accustomed to certain things. So therefore, it wasn't abuse anymore. That was everyday living. And a lot of y'all are gonna be mad at me for saying that. But this is the honest to God truth. At one point it was abuse, and then at one point it became something that she was used to. And I really, and not on no extra, because I really want to state this to y'all. I'm never gonna say a victim is not a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Because no, a victim of any of this is a victim. That is what it is. It is when you become aware of it and continue to do it, you no longer become a victim. You become a part of the problem.
Yeah.
This is a hard truth that I even had a conversation with my mother about. And she the one that explained that to me, because she always told me, like, no. After a while, she was just totally she wasn't totally into it, but she knew what it was, and she only did it for the sanctity of her children.
Mm.
And so I get it, but at the same time that she did that, she allowed that to happen to her. She opened the door to happen to her, and that means you are no longer a victim. It was only when she seen the destruction of her children when she left.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just being 100 with y'all. So at one point in this situation, we have to understand that we cannot keep trying to victimize Cassie, especially with the text message that came out. She was totally aware of what was going on, and she was actually with the shit.
Yeah.
That no longer makes her a victim. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as say that she wasn't a victim for everything. She was definitely a victim, but as far as that Kid Cudi stuff, like the only person that I feel like was a victim in that triangle was Kid Cudi.
He was a superior victim. He
Yeah.
had nothing to do with nothing. He thought he was
Yeah.
actually with somebody that was done with an individual. And
Right.
this motherfucker said, "Hey, what's up, Playboy? You got a big ass TV." And he like, "What the fuck?"
Right. So the Black Michelle says Kid Cudi equals simping ain't easy. What y'all think about Cassie's husband listening to everything? You think he already knew, or you think he knew already? I doubt he knew about the PP loans in her mouth.
I'm black.
Oh, jeez.
You are better than this, but I love you for this. I've had conversations with you in real life. You are a superior guy. But this dude, I didn't think you was this funny. That's funny. I will say this. I don't think her husband knew the extent of what was going on.
Yeah.
But he had an inkling of what was going on. So
I think he knew where he came in at.
Yeah.
No,
so I will say this. It takes a strong man. It takes a real strong man to actually listen to this and still go home and kiss you in the mouth.
Who you telling?
Because my nigga, if I was going through this trial, I'm gonna stand by my woman 100%, and I have to stand through with that, because this is not who you is, no more. And I get, because I don't give a fuck how any nigga fought me. Majority of y'all wives used to be hoes in college. So, but I'm not.
This isn't just like your random hoe from college.
Again, let me say what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I get, you know what I'm saying? The majority of y'all wives was out here like that. But what I will say is, it's very hard to deal with that with somebody actually giving you testimony, and then she like coming to you and be like, and like trying to kiss you in the mouth after you found out that like she had so many dicks in her mouth that she had sores, and she had so many dicks in her vagina that she had UTIs. The doctor said.
I mean, I don't know. Like, go sleep it off. I don't know.
Right. Drink some beetroot juice. I don't know. Like, it's very hard for after that for her to be that, because again, my woman been pregnant twice. I know at a certain range, and black men, you know too. So we'll just set this out there. At a certain range, your woman, even pregnant, is horny as a motherfucker. I'm not gonna want to touch you. I'm actually gonna question the little nigga that's jumping in you. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, this little nigga gonna turn out to be a freak."
Oh, Jesus.
It's gonna be plenty times I'm gonna be on the porch by myself, just like reflecting.
That's what you call it, reflecting?
Yeah.
Blackman says I couldn't be her husband. No way. Yeah, I said last week when we talked about it that I feel so bad for Alex, like to sit there and listen in grave detail about the sexual encounters that she had with another man and how vulgar and repulsive that testimony got, and then the cross-examination. Lord have mercy. I just pray for that man's strength.
And that man got to listen. My mama told me this when I was young. My mama told me the reason why I deal with what I deal with because I have the patience of Job. I don't react when people tell me to react. I literally figure out things and then I move how I figure things out. I just want Cassie's husband to do the same thing. Please have the patience of Job. Understand this was a time in her life. Understand that you have been knocking babies in her. Even if you leave, please let that be a time in her life and let her prove that she is just an awesome mother. Even if you don't stay with her, I'm not faulting you for not staying with her, but you have to let her be a good mother.
But he got 30 million reasons to stay with her. So
he has 30 million reasons, but sometimes 30 million reasons
ain't enough.
Ain't enough for I sucked so much dick I had sores in my mouth that a doctor said, I don't know what this shit is, bitch. I don't know what this shit is. Like,
right.
Bitch, take some calcium. Like, I don't know. I don't know who could deal with that.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Nigga. But I only know one STD that'll put sores in your mouth.
Yeah. And I'm willing to bet money she got that shit.
Oh, she 100% got that shit.
Yeah.
She got that shit so much that they said, that ain't even that. That ain't even that. Like, yeah,
right.
we know you got that.
Right. But we're not here for that. Right.
That ain't that. I don't even know what to tell you. But you better off going to like fucking Colombia and figuring out what that shit is.
Right. I don't know. Like, put some leaves on it. I don't know. Like
they got some Dr. Sabi.
He said he cured AIDS. I'm sure he got this too.
I don't know what to tell you because bitch, what?
Right.
Like everything else checks out, and you got a sore with a sore on it in your mouth.
Remember that shit on his lip got some shit on his lip, like
and everything that I just took checks out that you find.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you, bitch. You might want to see Caprice. That might be demon growing in your body, in your mouth.
Man, I'm telling you,
got a UTI so bad that medication don't work no more. I'm gonna give you this. I did that last week. What?
Dude.
This shit still fucking.
Right, and then you're not even at a commission while you're going through these trials and tribulations. You're not even out of commission. That's the part that kills me. Because the least you can do is sit and heal. But that motherfucker was so freaked out.
Yeah,
he was like, no.
If I'm a doctor, I'm gonna tell that bitch flat out, listen. Just remove the whole vagina. Like, I don't know what else.
Buy a new one.
Just buy a new one.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing working. You telling me that everything that we get paid for to give you, this shit ain't working?
Right.
Go ahead and get a new one. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. You got sores in your mouth and you got a UTI that I can't get rid of. I done threw everything except Typhoid Mary in this pussy, and it still hasn't killed it.
Right. Like, what can you do? Like,
get a new one.
Right, just fuck it. So Trick Turner says, them kids told daddy their mommy kisses tingle.
Trick,
Oh my gosh.
Trick,
Oh my gosh.
Trick.
I need to read this shit before I put it on the screen.
You are fucking. You are a wild man. But even saying that out loud, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because listen, everybody is watching us right now. If
tough.
mother kisses a baby goodnight and that baby does this, then there's something wrong.
That's tough.
There's something wrong. I kiss my baby all the time. You know what my son ain't never did? Get off me. Cassie's kids definitely be like, ew.
Right.
I get you doing that at 7. It's weird to do that at 2. Like, bullshit the fuck up off me.
Right. Oh my god.
And it's been, and, you know, again, I'm not, you know, like last week, I'll reinnovate what I said last week. I'm never going to call her. At one point, she was with the shit, and that's not saying that she's a bad person. I'm saying that she got influenced to be with all that shit all the time. She knew the risk of it, and she still continued to do it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing in a nutshell. No funny part. The whole thing in a nutshell. She knew the risk, and she was still willing to do it. That's just like me. I know the risk, and I'm still willing to smoke black and mounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing. After a while, you can't turn around and say the big tobacco is a problem. No, I know the risk. I still continue to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some responsibility on that doesn't fall 100% on Diddy, you know. But, you know, other people are going to say other things. Blackman says, how much head you got to be given to get sores? How much D you got to take to have super UTIs? Poor babies. They going to use all 30 mil for their therapy. Mommy smells like PP loans.
What the fuck?
Miss Peabody.
Mr. Blackman, what are you going through on this Friday? What are you going through on this Friday, sir?
Lord, y'all gonna kick me.
You were on the
road.
road. Like, you missed your calling. You need to. This is things you need to say on a comedy stage. Like, you missed your calling.
Y'all gonna get me kicked out the lady club. I'm laughing too much. Like,
I mean, and I'm not mad at you. It takes a different type of man to deal with somebody who can actually say this shit and still believe that they are mother material. Like, 100%. Like,
man,
when you were dropping kids in her, you didn't never know that you were going to find out that she sucked so much dick and had so much dick ran to her that she had diseases where doctors said, just drink some water, ho.
Right. Take some Flintstone vitamins and call me in the morning. Like,
I don't know what to say. Like, a doctor really was like, I mean, well, zinc probably could help. Like,
right. Right. Eat some yogurt. I don't know. Like,
and even with that, you literally text this man and told him, I can't wait for another freak off.
Right.
Your mouth can. Like, your mouth can wait.
Your mouth wants rest. Like,
your mouth was literally on Trey Songz. I can't help but wait.
Right.
Like, it's just switching. This is exactly what your mouth was saying.
Right.
And you read and you just gone home.
Right. Right. Like shit. If somebody would have been like, no, we can wait a few days. All right.
And just imagine being the stripper that's running through a mouth that feel like rocks. That shit is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So Trick Turner says, nigga, if you get a hole in your neck in that Roger Troutman box, you better blame Big Tobacco.
Trick, I hate you in every sense of the word.
Oh, goodness gracious. Blackman says 10 million strong and growing.
Blackman, you got to stop talking. You were on the roll today, sir.
He said that's the bacteria in Cassie. Damn it, man.
And you were on the roll, sir.
Right.
God damn. Look, I got tears in I gotta wipe my tears out of my eyes because Blackman, you've been on one. Trick. I'm gonna jump back to Trick. My nigga, I ain't blaming Big Tobacco for shit. But again, I'm never gonna be the white woman that's gonna be like, I ain't gonna do that. And you know why I'm not gonna do that? Because I seen a kid try to mimic her, and I laughed so hard, and I said, "Damn, that's my fault." That's my fault.
Did you ever see that video of the kid doing the voice box thing to what's his name? Roddy Ricch, the box?
Yep.
That shit was good. I watched that video so many times.
I said, and you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a total bean unless Lindsay doesn't want to do it. If something like that happens to me, I'm gonna still be on here like, welcome to the end of the week down. You know, I am welcome you ugly motherfucker. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
It is what it is.
I remember one time I was a kid, I was in a grocery store, and this man, he was coming down the aisle, and he had one of them things, and he was talking to himself, and he was like, "This is some bullshit. I can't find shit in this motherfucker." Like, it was so like, wait, what? Right?
I'm so good with this shit. This is bad. And somebody bans me to bang. Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you bring up the bang? I can't lift up both hands. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Right. Remember that on CB4? He had his on a rope chain.
That shit is that shit is crazy.
Right.
And if I go, you know how much weed I would smoke if that happened to me? Because I have to be out of here.
But you know, nowadays they don't got the thing. It's in your throat now. So you don't have to go around with the thing to put to your throat. Science and technology. We've come a long way. Yeah, we've come a long way.
Smoke so much weed because I would have to be so high because of jokes that's gonna come to me.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna hear the end of
it. I need to be Snoop Dogg high.
Yeah, you would never hear the end of it. Never. You'll be like those Truth commercials. But yeah, so
like fuck not like man. My high ass would be on some. I mean, you only live life once. Fuck hoes. Right. Like I would be on that type of time. Right. I'm not gonna be on no sad shit.
Right. So yeah. But back to Diddy. um with all the testimony and stuff like that, he's paying big bucks for his defense, and they are doing an awesome job. So they're still in the race. So we will see. At this point, it's anybody's game. Um, he's literally fighting for his life. So we will see. The Black and Show says, Lee, could you stay with your gal if you only found out after 3 kids that she was the reigning Miss Peabody International for 11 years, including when you were first dating? Would you be Russell or Charlie Wilson?
Now, I'll tell you the honest to God truth, because me and my girl have real cool ass conversations. One thing that I really love about the person that I'm with. We had a conversation one day, and I can vividly tell you because it's the honest to God truth. We were driving down state line, and we were talking about this same type of thing, like, and it wasn't this. It had nothing to do with the puffy trail. This was like, she was like, I didn't have no reputation in school, and things like that. She was like, I was shy like that. And she was like, can't nobody tell you nothing like that on anything about me. And I told her out the flip, because she went to Raytown high school, and I was like, yeah, I would not fuck with the bitch that was known as the Raytown Swallower. Like, I would immediately not fuck with you anymore. And she was like, where the fuck did that nickname come from? And I'm like, because I'm pretty sure it's somebody out there like that. She was like, well, that's not me, nigga. Like, so no, I would not. Like, I don't care how cool you is now. I just don't want nobody to be looking at me like, because the Raytown Swallower means you have knocked off some niggas that I probably have been around.
Wow.
Well, I don't want to be walking around with you like that on some niggas laughing and giggling at me type shit.
The Raytown Swallower is crazy.
Yeah. She was like, why the fuck would you even come up with a name like that? I'm like, yeah, I'm just saying, if you were known as like the Raytown Swallower, I would be gone.
Wow. So yeah, we probably wasn't up there at this. Matter of fact, I know we wasn't up there at the same time, but when I was up there, we didn't call them that, but there was a couple of them up there. They went by different nicknames though, but yeah.
I mean, keep it in 100, keep it in a total being. Even thinking about that, I know a couple of individuals who are respectable people right now. That when I was in high school, they were known for just doing whatever. Now, a lot of people, some of them, and I will say some, I'm not even gonna lie, some was just because people were saying hearsay. Others is because I actually know what type of time they're on.
Yeah.
At the same time, I will say this. The ones that I know that was on that time, all of them are married with children now.
Yeah.
My thing is, I wouldn't be the one to marry you.
Yeah. So I guess if your reputation precedes itself, it's a no-go.
Yeah, and it's one of them. And the only reason why I say this is because I know this much about certain people. You'll get into that level when you were a kid, and then that level of what you was doesn't represent what you are now.
Yeah.
And so and it's no doubt, because listen, I'm gonna keep it a total beam with you, and I'll keep it a total beam with this audience. If you are nasty, then stay nasty your whole life. Because that's what's going to keep your husband there. Your husband can't find out that you was getting trains and ran on you and you was sucking multiple dicks at a time, and then that nigga can't get you to suck his dick on a Tuesday. That's why I say I couldn't marry a person like that. And
That's
the only way is they get to a point where I don't want to do this no more. Bitch, what? What?
Right. This ain't what I signed
Kids
up
are asleep.
Right.
The kids are asleep. If you ain't eating dick, I knew you used to eat dick every day. You're not eating dick. I'm
nope.
tired.
I'm vegan. So Trick Turner says, "What about the Ruskin beef eater?"
The Ruskin beef eater probably is happily married right now.
I'm sure.
Because she still remains the beef eater. As long as you were, and I'm just gonna keep it 100. As long as you remain that way, then I get it.
Yeah, you can't.
But if you try to turn your life around, and you can turn your life around to be amazing. I ain't saying that, but I'm saying if you try to turn that freak down, especially with a man that is like really into touching and loving and rubbing and having intercourse with you, if you decide to turn that down, then that man ain't gonna be happy, especially if he know where he came from. Now, it's at the same time, bring it back to Cassie. If she is making sure that this nigga busts a nut every night, I'm pretty sure he don't give a fuck about what's going on.
Well, as long as you do that, right? So Blackman says, a reformed garden tool can't turn into a porch chair.
You a goddamn lie, nigga. You a goddamn lie. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I know a lot of hoes that turn their whole life around.
Yeah.
You a goddamn lie. Let's put this narrative like this. Because I always tell people this. I want y'all to understand that at one point when you're young, you make a lot of rash decisions that are selfish and all about you and your self-gratification. Once you get a certain age, you start thinking about other things. And you start to, some women, I'm not going to say all, but some women start thinking about self-preservation and what can sustain them when they become older women. Some women do that, not all. When you have a woman that understands that, hey, I need this man to make sure that my insurance is good, and I'm comfortable. I ain't saying that I don't split the bills 50-50, but what we don't have to worry about is we're going to be drowning in debt. You'll watch how that woman becomes a different type of individual. I've seen it. But what I'm telling that woman to do is don't turn off your freak when it comes to the nigga that's right there. You need to, I don't give a fuck if it's a fucking midday on a Wednesday. You need to just be like, hey, when you coming home? Because I want to suck that dick. Because they know what type of time you used to be on. So you got to be on that. You was doing it for 10 niggas back then. You can't do it for one.
Well, I found the Lord now, so.
Oh, nah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work for me.
Ignite TV is watching. He says, salute.
Salute, bro.
What's going on? So, yeah.
I'm just saying it could happen. I'm not saying, again, this is a strategy that I don't take. So I can't tell you to just jump on that. But if you did jump on that, she should be able to still, if she was able to please, and I ain't gonna say 10. Let me do that. If she was able to please multiple men back then, she should be able to please one man right now.
Okay.
That's it. That's how. I'm not telling her to do the extreme. I'm not telling you to go out the way. But if you let multiple men do some shit to you back in the day, and it's got and you have a reputation about that, then boom, you should be able to take care of one fucking man right now.
Yeah, it should be light work to do that.
Yeah, that's light work. That's, man, let me get this nigga to shut the fuck up and get this nigga some pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Blackman says true. Lots of church church first ladies are former Freaknik contestants. They got to give pastors some off GP though. Yeah, and that's the irony of it all, because ain't too many single pastors celibate.
Nah.
So
nah, if you a single pastor, you fucking at least 10 of them bitches at the church.
Maybe not in your church, but in a church, sure.
Not in your church. Or
not
you
all
fucking
10. Man. Not all 10.
Or you fucking a man.
Yeah, it's possible. Or both shit.
Or both. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I from what I've seen, you know, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, but when I went on my religious journey, what I did see was a lot of single pastors praying over single mothers.
Yes. Yes, that is something they do. Trick Turner says Freaknik and Kappa Beach party after the Freaknik ended. Yeah.
It just is what it is. You got to understand. I tell people all the time, listen, I'll just keep it a total bean. Because, you know, I don't like to lie. I always like to be transparent. I love my mother. My mother is the most intelligent person I've ever met in my life. And I'll die on that, because my mother is able to learn and adapt all her life, still to this day. This is what she's able to do. I've seen people that went to college that couldn't do the things that my mother done. At the same time, my mother dropped out of high school when she was 15 years old. Do I think my mother, when she dropped out of high school, she dropped out of high school because school was boring? No, I don't think that. Or education was dumb to her? No, I don't think that. My mama dropped out of high school so my mama wanted to do a bunch of grown shit. So I will never say my mama didn't do some extra shit out here. What I will say is she was respected for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she still maintained being intelligent, probably sucking dick in the back of an alleyway. Like, and I'll keep it a beam with y'all. Like, I'm not being on no extra or not trying to downplay my mother. My mother dropped out to be a grown woman. And as a 15-year-old, to try to be a grown woman, you did some shit that you probably would, as a grown woman, be like, I shouldn't have did that shit.
That was a bit too far.
That was a bit too far. But it's the reason why the city knows the twins. Like, my mother's a twin. The city knows my mother. It's been times I've walked through Costco and a man's been like, you one of the twin sons. Man, I've been knowing them since I was little. They some good people. You think all of them men just was saying that because they was good people? Some of the men was saying that because they didn't touch one of the twins. I'm not being on no extra shit, nor am I disrespecting my auntie or my mother. But what I'm saying is, people go through trials and tribulations. And I understand that completely. Will I do it? No, I won't. But that's just me. I'm not saying people won't do it. I know niggas right now that are totally happy with hoes. I got a homeboy right now, and just keeping it a total bean, and I'm not gonna put them on blast or anything like that, because that's asinine, and I don't want to play no games with people like that. But I literally have a homeboy that married an escort, and they have the best life. Their life is better than mine, so I could never downplay what she did her whole life, because they're living better than me. So why would I shoot y'all down? I'm just saying it's something I wouldn't do.
You gotta be a strong person to wife a escort. So salute to him. Trick Turner says them single pastors laying hands and dick on them single moms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen it. I've seen it. That's one reason why I knew the church was flawed. I was like, damn, I thought being a Jehovah's Witness was flawed. The church is flawed as fuck.
Unfortunately, but they haven't brought any pastors up on the witness stand as of yet. So, yeah.
I can't wait for TD Jakes to get up there.
He might have a doctor's note. So, yeah, because his health ain't the best right now. So he may have a doctor's note.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's sick. Because he's scared that he on tape somewhere.
Lord, I hope that ain't the case.
You know, stress to kill a nigga at that age.
Yeah. But again, we will be continuing to follow this case. This is a very, very, very interesting case to see how they build this case up against Mr. Combs, And on a lighter note, the twins graduated. So shout out to the Combs twins.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. What's up.
Yep. So they graduated.
I was wondering why they wasn't there.
Yeah. They had they left early last week for prom, and then this week they graduated. So shout out to them. But this was your Diddy.
Diddy update. Diddy update. Oil good and straight. Oil good and straight. Rubbing on my nipples. That nigga's weird. That's a nasty nigga. Let's outside of the case. Let's just say this. Because we can't sugarcoat this. We can't sugarcoat this at all. Because it has nothing to do with the trial. And he's not getting tried for this. Diddy is a sick man, y'all. Diddy is a sick man. I will always jump to, again, I'm not going to call Cassie a victim, but for you to squeeze out nut and rub it on that man's nipples, you are that man is a wild dude. Listen, I'm nasty. I'm telling y'all the flip. I'm nasty. What I would never do is be in a situation where I'm letting the motherfucker squeeze nut off.
That is so disgusting.
On my chest so I can rub it on my nipples.
Like, what does that do? Like, I don't know. But yeah.
That shit get his dick hard as wild cobras.
Ew, gross. Well, Blackman says the music is loud. It's not loud on my end. Is it loud on your end?
It's not loud on my end either.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that. But yeah. There was one thing I did forget to mention. When the escort was on the witness stand, this particular escort actually wrote a book because he ended up getting ED while with his dealings with Cassie and Diddy. And the book is called, what is it called? In Search of the Meat, or Freezer Meat. In Search of Freezer Meat.
What?
It's called In Search of Freezer Meat. So, because the book is about ED and how he overcame it, because it has to deal with your mental illness, or not mental illness, but there's a mental wellness. And so, the In Search of Freezer Meat, because freezer meat is very hard. So he's in search of freezer meat. You get it?
I get that.
Yeah. So
what my whole thing is, I'm like, damn, what would it take for you to this to be your thing. This is what you do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For you to get erectile dysfunction from dealing with Cassie and Puffy, it had to be so traumatic. It had to be one of those situations where it was. I want to be professional, but I can't. It had to be professional where you're in the act and you said you was about to come and this nigga like slid under there like I was amazing, and that just because that would throw me the fuck. I would never fuck this bitch
Oh
again.
gosh.
I would never touch this bitch again. Like I would never. Like if
I
I'm
don't think
like,
he did
oh shit,
that.
I'm about to come, and this nigga go usher slide like with his mouth. I would just be like, yeah, I would never touch another woman again.
No, I don't think it had to do with sliding up under it. But it did have something to do with Diddy being in the room, like because what I've noticed with these escorts that they weren't escorts initially. Of course, I'm sure they use professional escorts, but like these were like dancers, and when they showed up, they turned into escorts. You know what I mean? So they this one in particular, like he was not used to having somebody watch him over in the corner and direct him on what to do and all this kind of stuff. So he did talk about how it had to be a requirement for him to complete. And the one time he did not complete, no, the one time he couldn't even, perform was the last time he saw them. And so he talked about that in the book because it was a mental thing for him. So he talked about it in the book, and he talked like he didn't use their names, of course, but yeah, he wrote a book about it. So
I wouldn't do it either. And the only
yeah.
reason why I say that is to say this: a man that watches, hey, and this is my opinion. This has nothing to do with like what's going on with the Puffy trial, but a man that watches you screw his woman, one thing he's gonna do is like look at your meat while you doing it, and I just have a problem with that as a man. Like I'm just like I probably couldn't do that. One, I probably couldn't do that because, and I'll just keep it a total being with everybody that is listening to us right now.
Mm-hmm.
One is I don't want to see another man yakking his dick off while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Like that's gonna throw me out. Motherfuckers be like, well, just don't look at him. And he's there.
Yeah.
He's there. Like, even if you're not looking at him, you know what he's doing. That is gonna be a weird thing to me. Another thing, and I'll just keep it a total being with everybody. A man that watches his woman get plowed, he is doing some extra shit to his member, so he can feel adequate enough to even do that. So the thing that'll bother me is I'm giving her what I have.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to do is glance off in the next and the next highway where this nigga then gave himself like the penis pump, medication, a doctor surgery, all that. Where next thing I know, this nigga's doing this type of shit. I'm out of this room. Like, why am I here?
Right.
Like, why the fuck am I here? Because you gotta believe that I 100% agree. I believe this. I don't care if nobody else believes this. But no, watching other men plow your woman, I don't care how much money you got. You want to be more enabled than all of these dudes. And we've seen all of the dudes that actually plow Cassie. Now, we didn't see their member, but I can guarantee you Puffy made sure that he was adequate enough to be better than the rest. And so I'm not sitting in there for that.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in there for that. You could be in that motherfucker and be like, yeah, boy, I be fucking the shit out these hoes. You know what's gonna bother you? If a motherfucker be like, hell yeah, fuck the shit out these hoes. You gonna be like, what the fuck? Nah, I ain't going. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gone.
No,
Unless he wants you to rub nut on his nipples.
Yeah.
No. He gonna
That's a bit too far.
hell no.
That's a bit too far. That's a bit too far. Blackman says, to be honest, I've been there a couple of times. Last time there was a dude in North Kansas City who watched me smash his girl, had her screaming so much he had to leave the room and jack off in the other room while I finished. Whoa.
Blackman.
Whoa.
Never tell nobody this again. This is on social media, my nigga. Never tell nobody.
No,
that.
he's speaking his truth. He's speaking
your truth.
Yeah.
And I get it because I speak mine.
Yeah.
Don't tell nobody that shit again. One is if that's your side hustle, you ain't gonna get another client. If you serve a dick like that, you ain't getting another client. Some of these white men gonna be mad because they like they doing this shit.
Great.
They ain't doing puffy shit, or they ain't doing other people shit. Like, nah, don't tell nobody that no more. So, I'm glad you said it because that's your truth. You need to live off that, but don't tell nobody that again.
Like, I have so many questions though, because why did he leave the room?
Because he was going ham.
Right, but obviously they were into it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. So the point of it was for the dude to watch. So why would you want to?
I can only say this, and I don't know because I've never been in this situation.
Yeah.
What I will say is, if it was one of those things where he felt inadequate at that moment, because it's one thing, and it's not from experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put that disclaimer out there. It's not from experience, but it's one of those things just as a man. If he that man probably felt inadequate, but he still wanted to complete, he probably had to walk out and just listen to the moans and of what was going on. He probably didn't want to see it. So maybe that was what it was.
Yeah, or maybe the girl just like enjoyed herself a bit too much and was like, sure, you don't do that with me. You know.
And I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where I know, and this is just my opinion. I know Puffy is one of those people that superiorly think about power. So that is never gonna happen to Puffy. Puffy probably has done things to himself that is gonna make sure that he doesn't feel that way. You know.
Yeah.
That person probably was like, oh no, I would never, I could never do that to her. I can listen to it, but I can't see it visually.
Okay.
Puffy probably is like, I can see it because yeah, I'm gonna pull out like 3 feet full of dick. Like,
yeah, I mean, from what it sounded like was that he was a director, like, because he was telling them what to do and where to be and all this kind of stuff. So it sounded like he was directing the scene. So for real, at the extreme end of the day, he could have just went into the porn business and called it a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that, everything would have been on the up and up, totally legal, and we wouldn't be here talking about the shit.
No.
You know? Black man says, nah, he let be because she never made that noise with him before. That's what I said. And it was a thing when I first moved out here. Been over a decade since I did that, just illustrating the weirdos were everywhere. Oh yeah, most definitely know the weirdos are out here running amongst the norms.
Black men, knowing who you are I would have never thought you would do some shit like that. But I'm not even mad at you, my nigga. Like, I'm talking about 100% because I know who you are. And it's no extra. I've seen you as a man. I'm pretty sure you probably made that man feel inadequate.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say I've seen you as a man, I've seen you as a black man. We make people feel inadequate.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. That's it. We make. I've seen myself walk in a room and I've seen other men like look at me a certain way because of the way I walk and I carry myself. A lot of people think I'm a certain way, but then when they hear me talk, especially when I talk about my field or things that I do, I make other people feel inadequate. Kudos to you for being the nigga that you are, my nigga. But I just wouldn't have been there. I just wouldn't have did that. But I get it. I get it 100%. Like at the end of the day, most of us as black men, when we walk around and we do what we do and we handle our business like we supposed to handle our business, yes, 100%. Big dick energy came from us. We walk around with big dick energy. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Even when it's not so big, but I digress. So
I don't subscribe to that. But then again, I do know like all of us ain't like that. Yeah. But I've been telling y'all from the gate, like nigga, I'm not one of those. I'm not gonna tell you I got blah. No, I'm blessed, my nigga. I'm on Bernie Mac shit. I'll pull this motherfucker out and the whole room will get dark, nigga. So I get what it is. It's big dick energy.
Yeah, but you know, bringing it back to Diddy, this last lawsuit that came out last week, they say that he's a Tootsie Roll. And they had a picture of the Tootsie Roll in the complaint. So, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yes. I was like.
But it is niggas like that. I mean,
yeah.
You can't get mad, but you know, listen, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, some people are like that. Listen, you just have to subscribe to the whole thing of that man still got power.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got BDE like a motherfucker, but if that complaint is correct, he's a Tootsie Roll.
He's a Tootsie Roll, and it is what it is. But
hey, everybody ain't able. I guess I don't know.
Everybody, I don't know. I don't subscribe to that type of nature. I'm gonna give you like 3 to 5 minutes. Excuse me. 3 to 5 minutes of a dick that goes over my belly button. So I ain't gonna be long. I ain't gonna be long. I ain't telling you I'm about to be on no extra, but at least 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna be like, yeah, it ain't long. It ain't a long time, but it's definitely
it's a good time. It's
not what you think.
Right. Right. Trick Turner says they make king size Tootsie Rolls too. But that wasn't the picture though. The picture was whenever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me.
And I love you to death, bro. I'm gonna tell you to death. I love you to the core. But say you got a little dick without saying you got a little dick. Like what you think?
Right. Be like, they got king size too, you know.
I don't subscribe to that, my nigga. Nobody else. Listen.
You know, have you ever been to Spencer's? They got them there.
Yeah, we don't.
You can buy them on Amazon.
I'm doing that. We slap thighs over here, my nigga. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, my nigga. I can't subscribe to that type of time. And it's just, you know, word to God, nigga. Word to Jehovah. Like, nigga, we slap thighs over here. I don't know what you're doing on that side. Yeah.
He said projection much.
That was you, my nigga. That was you. Like, I didn't never say that. It would be a difference. I was like, shit, they got king size Tootsie Rolls out here.
Right.
You don't never know what that meant. Like, nah, I
What you
don't know
trying to
what that
say?
meant.
Right. But yeah, I came across this video. I was cracking up. It was a video of what's her name? I think it's Millie Jackson. She was at the Apollo and she was singing this song, Let Me Feel It. And she went out into the crowd and started feeling it. And that shit was crazy. I can't believe that she did that shit. But shoot, she can only do that shit back then. There's no way. It would be so many fucking think pieces out if she did that shit in 2025.
You know, and it's so crazy because I will say this. Because I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you put the false narrative on dudes because it is a real thing of a grower and a shower type of type of business. So I would tell every woman, like, don't automatically typecast a man if he's like if he's not aroused and it doesn't look like you want it to be, because it can grow to be exactly what you want it to be. Now, at the same time, I say that I'm not saying that because I would never entertain the notion of I'm a part of the tribe. But what I will say is this: you can't really. There's a lot of factors that come on with a man. It's stress, life. If the nigga ain't eating right, it's a bunch of shit that happens where you'll think a man is a certain way, and then you'll get him aroused, and it's a whole different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I know I don't know. That's one thing I know. I'm one of those advocates of people to tell women all the time, like, yeah, you can't subscribe to that type of nature.
Yeah.
Because if this nigga is drinking Hennessy the whole night, and you go down there and you go in there and you reach for him, yeah, this motherfucker is gonna be on some drunk, not in the mood to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it was just funny, that video, like she really went through the crowd and they was letting her feel. So but
Yeah, I would have did the same thing. I
yeah.
ain't gonna lie, I would have did the same thing. I would have been like, yeah, go ahead and just I just understand when you grab it, it don't happen.
Right. But yeah, so yeah, that is the Diddy talk for this episode. I don't have any final thoughts, so Jerry's final thought, take it away.
Okay, I'll do this just because I want to wrap it up and make everything cool. These last 2 weeks has been a trial and a test for not only myself but my family. It's been a trial for me because it's really letting me figure out what's going on. So I tell people all the time, and I'll tell the audience, you really have to let God's test really be God's test, so it can show you not only how far you can go, but how your resolve is. Last week I lost my nephew. Shout out to Fatty. He lost his life in a drive-by shooting. And my family and myself haven't crashed out yet. This Thursday, my sister, she was actually living in the house that I grew up in, and that house burned to the ground. And we handled certain things, and we got certain things taken care of. And as much as all the memories are gone, we didn't turn around and crash out or try to make it like an extra event.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, like, you know, I don't want to be the person that that like dwells on so much bad shit where that I become a conduit for bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
But bad shit has actually been happening, and the resolve of my family going through this has really been extra amazing. And so my Jerry's final thoughts is always understand that God gives his strongest warriors the hardest fight. So you're gonna go through some shit, and it's gonna be heavy, and it's gonna be hard. But he knows you're gonna be able to handle it. However way you handle it. I'm not telling you to handle it my way. I'm not telling you to handle it anybody else's way. But however you handle it, where you still remain calm, kosher, and cool, you are doing the best job, and you're doing everything that God designed you for. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Well, thank you for Jerry's final thought. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that's going on, but happy to hear that y'all being resilient in regards to it. So, so yeah, this is actually episode 159. I don't know what I was thinking by putting 181. Try to go off of memory, and the memory is not memory. So yeah, episode 159 of the Ish We Talk, and we will see you guys for episode 160. Bye.
Exactly.